What's up, y'all? Welcome back to my channel. So we're back with another Pride look, and this is going to be the first like non-binary makeup I'm gonna do for this series, and I'm so excited. If you don't know, like I do identify as like non-binary, but I go by she, her, they, them. Like I really don't give a fuck. But anyways, yeah, I want to like push the boundaries, and like there are certain makeup looks that I've been doing recently within the last couple months, and I kind of wanted to try like a new take on the plaid brows because y'all know I love me some plaid brows. So I was like, you know what, let's try something. And I'm using the Made by Mitchell Color Case Pro. It's basically like a smaller version of the Color Case, and then this is the primaries one. So it has yellow, red, blue, white, and black. And I really just want to use the yellow as a base for the brow because the base is going to be yellow. Now, I don't know if y'all noticed, but I had like this little like white grid thing. That is one of them hand palettes. It's a disposable hand palette. I got it from Amazon, but I know Nonbinary beauty has some, but last time I looked, they were out of stock. But basically, like you put this on your hand, and that way you can put like the makeup products on there. That way it's easier for you to take off, like just literally just peel it off versus like having to get like makeup remover to try and get it off. Because girl, like if I try to mix the color fix or the color case on the back of my hand, I would literally have to be scrubbing with my cleansing balm for a good little second just to get it off. But I'm trying to make this as opaque as possible. Like whenever it comes to like yellow, I feel like yellow is a hard color sometimes to get like truly opaque because it's just, I don't know, it's just something about yellow. Because even when you do like paintings or drawings and stuff, yellow gives me the worst time, which is why I don't always use yellow because it makes me want to like scream. But I had to do it for the look. Like I had to do it. So I added that pigment from Jellywind Cosmetics on top just to make the color a little bit more vibrant. And also I feel like it helped just set that color case like product, just because I know there are certain products, like I do believe the color case dries down matte, but I'm always somebody who sets my stuff because girl, I need to make sure that this is not gonna freak out because I do have oily lids and stuff, and when I like try not to set certain things, I feel like sometimes it gives me a hard time. But anyways, I used that Plaid pigment from Trixie Cosmetics. It was like a little purple shade, and I like them. Like I have like 4 different colors, and I feel like they're actually really good products. And if they have some more, I might try them out because I do use them when I do like things like my brows or like different like cut creases. If I want to cut my crease with that, that's also a good thing I could use. And now we're gonna take this color fix from the Nonbinary beauty in a black. Well, it's obsidian, but it's just like a black. And usually I would use a blackout, but I ran out of it, and every time I go on the website, like it's sold out. So I've been a little bit sad. So when I did do my brows on my right side, I still acted as if like I'm gonna like clean up my eyebrow slit. That's why you see like a little space in between those lines. Yeah, my eyebrow slit is still visible, and I end up putting some rhinestones in it later. I'm really just trying to get this line as pigmented as possible because usually, I mean, if I had the time and the energy to, I would wait for each layer to dry down before I moved on. But girl, I don't want I don't want to do that. I be trying to make my makeup process as fast as possible because my looks be taking a little second, and I don't want to sit here all day, especially because sometimes like I do my makeup and it's like I only have like a certain amount of time, or I'm trying to do multiple looks in a day, and it's like, girl, I can't be wasting my time. I gotta make sure I use my time like effectively. So for my eyeshadow base today, I just decided to take that concealer I used to clean up underneath my brow, and I just used it for my entire eyeshadow base, which is what I normally do. But sometimes I do just want to try a eyeshadow base to see if it helps my eyeshadow just pop a little bit more. And I'm basically setting it with the Milk Cosmetics She's Alive powder. This is a translucent powder. I usually use it for my eyeshadow base just because like that's what I use my translucent powders for. Usually I'll use a pigmented setting powder like for my like highlight areas, but I'm going in with the Smoke Sessions 2 Milk Cosmetics palette. I bought this when they had like a sale not too long ago, and this is like my first time. I don't know what was going on in certain areas. Like you can see that it's a little bit patchy, but I was trying my hardest. But this was like the first time I was using this palette, so maybe if I play with it a little bit more, like I can find an easier way, because their palettes are very pigmented. But I probably just need to practice, and it might be my eyeshadow base, I don't know. But we'll try it again later on. So now that I have those other colors blended out, I'm going to take that darker purple and put it in my crease primarily. But once I have it blended out in my crease, I'm basically like covering up my eyelid because I want to do a cut crease. And I wasn't sure at first like what type of cut crease I want to do, because I was like, do I want to do a cut crease or do I want to do a halo eye? But then I just tried it out and I was like, you know what? Yeah, we're doing a cut crease. And I just wanted to make sure that like the blend like between like where this pigmented like color is, like this metallic color is, versus like the end of my eyeshadow, I was trying to make sure that it was like covered up well. And now I'm taking that same palette and I'm adding like those purple shimmers on my eye. I like to use the Color Fix as the eyeshadow base and to cut my crease, because I feel like once you add like shimmers on top, it just looks 10 times more pigmented, which I absolutely love. But yeah, I just use my fingers for that. You can use the eyeshadow brush. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But because the eyeshadow look was kind of simple, I was like, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna put rhinestones on it. We're gonna put rhinestones on it because a cut crease, that's not enough. That's not dramatic enough. Like, what are you talking about? But I'm taking the Flounder rhinestones from Get Stone. They're basically yellow, but they have like this bluish green reflect, and these are the only yellow rhinestones I have. So I was like, you know what? I have to kind of use them. But yeah, I feel like this is a vibe. Like, I love doing cut creases and adding rhinestones. It takes a little second, but the look always eats. So now that I finished placing those rhinestones, I'm going to take this liquid liner from Ulta Beauty. This is the Color Punch liquid liner in the shade Onyx, and I like using this one. I feel like this is actually a pretty good liner. I haven't had any issues with it, and it goes on pretty smoothly. I like to use liquid liners. I know some people use like felt liners and stuff. I can't lie to you, I hate felt tip liners. Like, there are certain products that I want to try just because the pigment looked like pretty good, but every time I use a felt liner, I'd be like wanting to scream because like it gets mixed up with my makeup, and I don't know, maybe I just need to practice with it more. But I don't know. But yeah, I basically concealed my eyebrows on top with a color that was similar to my foundation color, just so it doesn't create that halo eye effect. But you know, do you? And I'm taking this foundation. This is one of my favorite foundations. Like, every time I use this foundation, I feel like my base just looks like chef's kiss. And you know, I try to use other foundations and like basically like base products just because, you know, I feel like everything deserves a little chance. But yeah, definitely one of my top 3 foundations, and she's not 2 and she's not 3. That's all I'm gonna say. So now we're going to take one of my favorite concealers. This is the Thread Coverage in the shade 07, and I love using this. I like the size of the brush because I feel like it helps apply like a good amount of foundation whenever I'm doing like bigger areas of my face, because sometimes I have to like go back in, dip into the like little containers so many times just to get like enough pigment or like enough product out. But yeah, I love her. You can get her off the website because, you know, she at that store that we don't go to. So yeah, that's where I would suggest getting it from. But she's real cute, and she's not that expensive, I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, when it comes to makeup, like, I have certain like high-end products that I absolutely love, but there are some like drugstore makeup products that I would swear by. And like, you know, sometimes just do whatever you can do for your budget, because there are some products that I definitely could do a whole full face with that don't cost an arm and a leg. So, you know, if you want to see a video like that, please let me know. And I'm taking my Power Bronzer from the Nonbinary Beauty, and this is one of my favorite bronzers. Like, whenever I want a good beat, yeah, I use her. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, it's either this one or I'm using the Curve Case by Made by Mitchell. But yeah, she's really good, and I like the color of it. Like, I feel like sometimes certain bronzers, like, I know this was the red, but some of them be like way too red. Like, I feel like there has to be a balance, but sometimes I do like a redder, you know, bronzer. It just depends on the moment. Like, with this look, I feel like my look was a little bit more cool tone, so, you know, I feel like this bronzer just really helped a little bit. And then I'm going in with this setting powder from One Size. This is in the shade Marigold. I love using this powder to highlight the, you know, under eye area and the other parts where I put concealer at. I know y'all don't always see it in my videos because I usually cut it out, but whenever I'm adding like loose powder to my face, I'll pour some in the top and then I'll dip my brush in and then tap off the excess. And I do this just to try to make sure the application is a little bit smoother. Like, I want to make sure that, you know, everything is even, because sometimes when I just like dip into the brush and like I apply it to my face, certain areas have more product than others, and sometimes that can cause like certain bases to look crazy. Especially if I'm doing my eyeshadow base, I need to make sure that that powder is like as evenly placed as possible, because it will look crazy when I'm doing my eyeshadow. That's probably what happened with this look, I'm not gonna lie to you. But this was also one of my favorite favorite like powder like bronzers. And when I tell you like the thing is broken, I'm trying to be so careful because I don't want to have to restock for a little second. And I still have enough product. It's just like I use that bronzer the most that I'm like, Ariel, you know, we need to use a different bronzer. And I'm basically doing the same thing with the colors. And then look on my eye, like, bro, it be pissing me off sometimes when like my makeup be looking crazy because like it doesn't look bad, but it's like I can see the difference. And like I'm like, bro, but I use this like glam topper from Motor Brush, and I use it to apply the pigment, like the eyeshadow, like the shimmer shadow underneath my eye. I feel like that was a moment. I usually don't do this, but it just chef's kiss for this look. And I'm taking this mascara. I like to use a smaller one for my lower lashes. That way it's a little bit more precise. You can use the 1994 mascara, the Lash Lacquer from Made by Mitchell, REM Beauty's Lengthening Mascara. Those are some good ones that I like to use for underneath my eye. And this is a blush I brought from Made by Mitchell like months ago. And like I really don't use it, but I was like, you know what? I'm doing a yellow look, so I might as well add yellow blush. Can you really see it? No. But you know, it's the thought that counts. It's the thought that counts. And I set my face with that hydrating like setting spray, and I'm going in with this like shimmer shadow, and I basically use it as a highlighter. I do this all the time. Like back then when I didn't really have like different color highlighters, I was using shimmer shadows as highlighter. Sometimes you just gotta make shit work. And I feel like when I do my creative makeup looks, sometimes I need the highlighter to truly like reflect one of the colors, and I decided to go for yellow because, you know, I don't always do yellow makeup, and I just felt like it just added a little, you know, je ne sais quoi. But I'm going in with these gunmetal rhinestones in my eyebrow slit. They're basically like a dark gray, and I'm setting it one more time, and I'm using an actual like setting spray now because like, I'm basically done with my makeup. I'm just putting on my lashes. I don't even remember what lashes these are, but I did put black lash glue on, and I let them set for a second, and you'll see I have a lip combo on. I had this lip combo and I ended up changing it because I felt like it was like way too red for the rest of my makeup. Like as you can see, it's cool tone, so I was like, you know, this is not giving what I want to. And then for the highlighter, I decided to add like this bluish purple highlighter on top just to like tone it a little bit down. And I'm setting my face one more time, and this is it. This is my actual like lip combo that I absolutely love. But I hope y'all enjoyed this video, and I will talk to y'all later. Bye.